Hello, I'm attorney Dan Marr from the Hamlin Kerrigan law firm here in Nashua, New Hampshire, practicing here in New Hampshire for 36 years, Commonwealth of Massachusetts 28 years, licensed in both states, and do a lot of business transactions with clients and also do some litigation with them. And sometimes I've talked in another blog about how to decrease liability in the contracts themselves, contract language you have. And today's vlog I'm going to be talking about for smaller business arrangements, sometimes it makes sense to consider remote arbitration. Going into court, hiring lawyers to go into court to resolve a small business dispute between yourself and another party can be expensive. And sometimes the other party you might be doing something that you connected with somebody in the internet. They might be in California, and they may be putting a choice of law provision in that you have to come to California for them, and you want them to come to New Hampshire. Here's a compromise to consider: is do remote arbitration, where there are arbitrators out there that are willing to do arbitration by Zoom, Teams, or those other mechanisms, and you can arrange for how you set up exhibits with them, but you can arrange for that way and say you'll pick somebody mutually agreeable for arbitration, and in that mechanism you're saving a lot of money because you're going to be sitting at your desk. Maybe you'll have a lawyer, maybe you won't, to resolve the issue. Maybe it's not worthwhile to have a lawyer, but the lawyer's not having to travel to court. They are working from their office, so if you are using that lawyer, it's cheaper for you. And again, the other side might likewise like that concept. And I've had situations where I've had small dealings, not ones that are hundreds of thousands of dollars, but smaller dealings, or millions of dollars, but smaller deals where people like the idea of, okay, we have to resolve this issue. First, we're going to try to resolve it ourselves, of course. We can get on the phone or email and text and try to work out things. But when we can't, we go to arbitration. Arbitration is a person. It can be a 3-panel, but usually for a smaller case, it's going to be one person that's going to be chosen, and they're going to hear the dispute, and they're going to make a decision. They're going to tell you what their decision is. You can call it what's a reasoned decision, or and they can give a narrative, or they can just give you the order, and it's cheaper if they just give you the order. But sometimes you just need something to be fixed. You have a dispute on something. I prefer myself, whenever I can, to put things into as much plain English in the contract themselves, and I strive for that myself with examples in there so that people don't have a confusion on it. But at times there's a reason that one side doesn't think they have to do the obligations, or they decide they want to do a different way, and they think the other side's being unreasonable, and you need a decision maker to decide that, particularly if you're going forward with a contract with somebody. If you're dealing with somebody you think they've damaged you, you might also consider the remote arbitration, but then you would still have to go to court in their jurisdiction to start collecting on them. So that might be a burden. But when you're trying to deal with a situation where you're trying to see, all right, we're at a crossroads here, I think we're supposed to go left, the other side thinks they're supposed to go right, we need somebody to make a decision, this remote arbitration can work quite well, and I put it into contracts and it can work to the benefit of people. Certainly I encourage people to try to resolve their disputes by agreement, and also I like to put in my contracts as much plain English as possible so people understand their contracts, because as I say, good fences make good neighbors. Same thing with contracts. Good contracts make good business partners. So in going forward, consider the possibility of in a small transaction, particularly when you're dealing with somebody out of state, but even when you're dealing with somebody in state, where everyone can sit in their office and resolve the issue with an arbitrator. The arbitrator doesn't have to travel anywhere either, so it's a lot cheaper, and you can then figure out the path that you need to go. So consider that. I'm attorney Dan Marr here in Nashua, and I'm at 603-883-5501, 603-883-5501. I'm happy to talk to you about this topic or any other topics in regards to business transactions. I've done them again for 36 years, and I can discuss this or other issues. You can check out my vlogs at the website of NashuaLaw.com. That's our firm website, and then just click to my bio, and then you can go to my YouTube channel, and I have weekly vlogs in there. But again, consider the possibility of remote arbitration as a dispute resolution for those small contracts that you need sometimes the people to know where they're going so they can continue on, hopefully, with their business relationship. Happy to talk to you if the opportunity arises. Thank you.